Now, there are some of you out there that are going to sit up there and say that Mike Tomlin wasn't no better. Because Mike Tomlin, what the hell has he done as head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers? You'll even point to the aftermath of the loss to the Buffalo Bills on Monday in the wild card playoff game, and you'll point to his actions as providing the level of evidence that you're looking for to denigrate him. You'll point to this right here. This is Mike Tomlin at the press conference.
Anyone?
Mike, you have a year left on your contract.
Ladies and gentlemen, I had no problem with it. The man had just lost the playoff game, and somebody's trying to ask him about his contract. He didn't want to answer it. I don't have a problem with it. And I think he handled it well the very next day when he issued his mea culpa apology or whatever you want to call it, when he said this.
Good afternoon. In a little better mood today, man. Anybody got any contract questions? I'll say this. I certainly could have handled that situation better than I did, but I'll also say this. I just believe there's a time and place for everything, and post-game press conferences are probably not the place to address contract issues and things of that nature. It's just a very individual thing, and on game day, I doubt any of us are in that mindset. Certainly I am not. What's required to do what it is that we do, the amount of focus pouring into a collective, I'm just not in that mind state, and I just don't believe that's the appropriate venue to talk about things of that nature. Certainly open and willing to do it today in this venue.
Look, he says, does anybody have any contract questions? He's looking forward to staying. He's looking forward to being available. He's looking forward to all of these things. Fine. For those of you who want to sit up there and say, Stephen A., you hate on the Dallas Cowboys every chance you get, but you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. How come you ain't getting on Mike Tomlin? Well, listen, let me tell you something. 17 consecutive seasons, all 17 of his coaching seasons as a head coach in the National Football League, he's always had a winning record, number one. Number two, he's a Super Bowl champion. Number three, here's the deal. I understand that Mike Tomlin hasn't won a Super Bowl championship either. But I also understand he's been a couple AFC championship games. He's won about 7 playoff games. Now 3-8 since that time he won the Super Bowl. Fair enough. Hasn't won a playoff game since 2016. Fair enough. Has 6 one-and-dones since that time in the postseason. Fair enough. But Mike Tomlin had an aging Big Ben Roethlisberger as his quarterback, playing in the same conference as Tom Brady, and at one time Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, okay, for a significant chunk of that time, not to mention the fact that he certainly hasn't had a quarterback in recent memory. The last 2 or 3 years of Big Ben Roethlisberger, he was done. And between Kenny Pickett, Mitchell Trubisky, and now Mason Rudolph, don't get me started. I didn't see Brett Favre coaching or quarterbacking for Mike Tomlin. I didn't see Aaron Rodgers quarterbacking for Mike Tomlin. And I haven't seen Dak Prescott, who was an MVP candidate. Case closed. Shut the hell up. I don't want to hear that. The two don't compare. The two don't compare. It's just that simple. Let me move on to a different subject because I got Gilbert Arenas waiting for me, and I can't wait till y'all hear what this brother has to say. So there's a few things that I want to touch on, but there's a story that I'm aching to touch because I think it's important to bring this up. I already brought up the comparisons between Mike Tomlin and Mike McCarthy. I already brought up their coaching records and their resume. I already touched on all of that, and neither situation is ideal. But in the case of Mike McCarthy, he's speaking gibberish. I will fault Tomlin, by the way, before I get to my next subject, for sitting there and talking about the quarterback is still in the room. Who said that? Pickett, Trubisky, or Rudolph? Hell to the no. Hell to the no. Neither of them work. Get rid of all of them. Or relegate them to backup. They better not be the starting quarterback. I don't care if Mike Tomlin goes out and get Kirk Cousins or Justin Fields. And I'd prefer Justin Fields over Kirk Cousins, by the way, because he can run with the football. And I want a dual threat. But I'm here to tell you something right now. Anybody but the three he has. Anybody but the three he has. So let me get that out the way.